Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rolling in the Ozarks. I am glad to be here once more with my co-host. We are a different staff today, actually. I'm Jen Trovo. I'm here with Rolling in the Ozarks regular. I don't think you've missed one of these podcasts yet. Hubble, have you missed one yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
I just love talking about Age of Sigmar. Yeah.
So Hubble has been on. He's been on every episode, and so we don't have our two other regular co-hosts with us. We don't have Randy, we don't have McBride or Jay with us today, but we do have somebody special, a person that we've mentioned a lot. We have the man, the myth, the third place local legend, Jonathan Shone. Shone, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here.
Well, good, and I appreciate you coming on with us because you're one of the people that we've wanted to get on here for quite a while, and we're glad that we actually finally have the opportunity to get to have you on here, man. So thank you for agreeing to come on here with us.
Yeah. I love listening to the show, so this is great.
Awesome, cool. Well, we're going to kick things off with just what we've been doing in the hobby lately. And so I'll go ahead and start. I have been doing a lot of Stormcast work, but I've painted a lot of Stormcast, a lot of Liberators. I've been doing a lot of basing lately. Also, surprisingly, I've been starting to get into a Death Army. But I mean getting into, I just meant like buying stuff, essentially, just to just kind of pump it up. I've been getting into some Soulblight Gravelords. Just because I want to do a death faction and I want to see what that's all about. So that's kind of what I've been doing hobby wise. Like this last weekend, and we're going to talk about this as well. I played in a GT, not a GTT, as I've been referred or been corrected on. This was called Hawghammer, and we'll get into that later. But Hubble, what have you been doing lately?
I gotta ask, are you going for the skeletons or the vampire aspect of Soulblight? Why Soulblight?
I'm doing zombies, man.
The zombies? Going for the zombies? Gonna play
I just
200 zombies.
I want just a board full of zombies and corpse cards and just be like, you know what? This might not be meta. This might not know anything, but it's going to be fun to take to RTTs and just be like, hey, here's a whole bunch of zombies to kill.
Just make sure you get your movement traits right.
Yes, exactly.
Get them set up and going.
Yes. But I like what I want to do with them. I want to paint them up to where they look awesome. So when you're across the board, you're just like, this is a cool looking zombie horde. That's what I want to do with them.
Okay, and there's a whole bunch already glued up. Not I don't think primed yet, but sitting at Games Explosion for you to go buy, sitting on the U shelf.
I've bought some of them already.
So. Oh, you already found them. It's so great buying the U stuff that's glued up. It saves so much time.
I know.
I know. So I got to play an intro game with someone that just I'm really excited to see, learn, and just all about Age of Sigmar. His name's Jeff. He has that great energy, and he's already like telling. I met him about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh yeah, and we have a podcast, and and he was like, just absolutely dove in. He's like, I'm just telling everyone about your podcast. So it's just like, you're so nice. And he's just ready to dive in. He's gotten 3 games in, and he was just an absolute delight. He's playing Flesh Eater's Courts, and I was like, I just want to keep playing games with you. Love the attitude. Love just seeing someone walk into Age of Sigmar for the first time and have that just like, everything is there's so many rules, but just learn along the way. And then we had our stream last week Wednesday, and the trolls, the first run with the Gloomspite Gits, it was a good soup of just all the pieces. I did misplay 1 or 2 things that made it a lot worse for me, and I was playing into LRL, which made it also pretty difficult. But I did enjoy playing them. It's just a different mindset, and you always got to be focusing on bringing stuff back. And that's my recursion army. I don't have a death army for it. That's going to be my army that I actually get to bring a unit back constantly outside of Stormcast. So it was a very different type of game. I really enjoyed playing Gits. I think that I'm probably gonna have 2 sets of trays, one for Gits and one for cities, and just make sure that I can just be like, hey, which one do I want to play today? Kind of mix it up and play them both. Putting ogres on the shelf for the time being, and just crank out a bunch of games in there. And yeah, just getting ready for Summergeddon.
Shone, what have you been doing hobby wise lately?
Well, let's see. 2 weeks ago, I played a game against Josh with my list that I took to Hawghammer. I wanted to get one game in before we played, and sadly for Josh, I doubled him on turn 2 and ate his army. Uh, let's see.
That's how it goes.
3 reinforced units of Agrodons and 2 Carnosaurs will eat things.
Love it.
So that was a very quick game with Josh. Of course, attended Hawghammer, and I've also been painting the remnants of my Seraphon. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 models left until my Seraphon are fully painted.
Oh, nice.
Can that ever happen? Can you ever have a fully painted army?
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes. It's just you can't buy anymore.
Can you just?
That's
like,
the issue.
Is it just on your shelf and it's just fully painted?
Yeah,
Dude, that's the dream right there.
it is.
That's the dream.
But then I look over at the corner and I see like 100 ogres ready to be painted.
That's what I was gonna ask.
And you just got more of them, didn't you?
I did. One of the door prizes was a beerhead box of ogres.
And it was the previous one, right? So
Yeah.
you got the Mornfang pack in there
Yeah.
and
Yep.
Gluttons. Yeah. My goodness. You have a full ogre army now.
I do. It's going to be great. And of course, just to never have too many things going at the same time, I also have a super secret army for 40K's new 11th edition that I am working on.
Wait, I don't want to ask you what your secret is then.
Yeah, it's a secret. You'll see it on the table.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody. We have a new person on this podcast, a person that we've been wanting on here for a long time. And actually, I think he's probably going to show up on some more episodes as well. We want to introduce to you Jonathan Shone. He's been on here for a few minutes already. Shone, thank you for coming on this episode with us. And we really appreciate you being willing to talk to us. So let me ask you this question. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Jonathan Shone. Everyone calls me Shone. I am an immigrant. I came from the country of England. Back in 2005, met my wife online. Yes, internet dating at its finest. Came over here in 2005. We got married. Got my citizenship in 2017. So that's how I ended up in the States.
Okay.
Outside of my lovely world of Warhammer, I'm an Arkansas licensed optician. So if you need glasses, you know who to come see. Recently promoted to manager, so that's cool. That's a new life change for me.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, since you're British, does that make you better than us in general or just better in Warhammer?
Not in either.
Maybe there's something.
I tell everybody I missed the boat by a couple generations.
So I just recently went to Philadelphia and there was a lot of like Revolutionary War stuff going on in that town. And I went to the history of the American Revolution, and it was a lot of British versus American culture stuff. But I gotta say, like, there was a lot of loyalty support going on for the Brits in that time that people don't really know about in our history. Like, there was a lot of support. So I'm just saying, hey, not every American was anti-British at that time. I'm just saying.
I always joke that it wasn't the American Revolution; it was just a British Civil War
There you go. Yeah.
because everyone was British. Everyone came from there.
They were. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Absolutely. It was a civil war, and it doesn't get looked upon as that. History
Yeah.
lesson, kiddos. History lesson. All right. Shone, tell us how you got involved with Warhammer.
Wow, we're going back to the pre-dawn times here. Um, I was a kid, a little kid, probably 7 or 8 years old. And, as you do as a kid, you sneak into your parents' room and you start rummaging through closets to find things that they may have hidden for you for like birthdays and stuff. And up on the top shelf, there was this box, and it had the word Space Crusade written on it.
Hmm.
And I was like, what is this? So I get it down and I'm looking at all these like models of these guys. They were orange, red, yellow, blue, and green. And then there was these like robot dudes. And come to find out, my dad and my uncle at the time had been playing Space Crusade. So that was my very first introduction into the world of Games Workshop. Probably fast forward a year, I go to my friend's house and he's got this magazine on his bed. I'm like, dude, what's this? And I look at it, and it's called White Dwarf.
Hmm.
And I'm looking through this book, and I'm like, these are awesome, man. What is this? And he's like, it's a game you play. He's like, I've already bought some miniatures. And I got to look, and he'd bought the original Chaos Warriors for fantasy.
Wow.
I was like, oh man, these. It's like you paint them, and then you roll dice and play. And I was like, I gotta get on this. So he's like, well, what army do you need to collect an army? So what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. I was looking through the book and I saw these rats. And I was like, what are these? Skaven. I was like, these are cool. So for my probably I think it was my 10th birthday, I convinced my dad to take me to my local Games Workshop, which was granted an hour by metro, which is like a train, to the store. Walk in there and I've got all this money. I tell the GW guys like, I want to get Skaven, and he's like, great, and he just starts throwing boxes at me, and I'm like completely overwhelmed. Don't know what I'm buying at this point. And he's like, this is a great army. This will be great for it. I'm just like, sure. Uh, so that's how it started, and then ended up with a huge Skaven army. Kind of dabbled with high elves. Of course, I'm just a kid at this point, so my paper round money just goes all to Warhammer.
Did you say your
Uh,
paper route money?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome, dude. That is that's lore right there. That is solid.
yeah, yeah, dude. My I would walk miles on that paper route. None of this riding bikes and throwing papers at houses. We had to walk up and deliver them through the front door letterbox.
Oh wow.
That is some customer service right there.
Yeah.
You always found out real quick who had a dog. You pushed that paper through and it would go through.
So you actually your first experience with Warhammer was not even something that was for you. It was for your dad. Like,
Yes, yes.
did you expect that was for you, or did you
No,
was
that
it
was his. That was
yeah,
his.
yeah, and so it's like you see, oh yeah, can I play? No. Can't play with us. Let the adults play with their plastic toys or metal
Yeah.
toys probably at the time, Peter, right?
The Space Hulk was all plastic, but my
Okay.
uncle had pewter models and he had them on his
Oh yeah.
uh, book cabinet in his house, and I'm like, dude, these are cool.
Yeah.
And he had at that point he'd been collecting White Dwarf for a long time, like from the original days.
So okay, so
Yeah.
you're a kid, you get into Skaven, you get into these models. So how does this journey progress?
It basically takes over my life. Um, every weekend we go to our local youth center and we rent the room and we just put huge battles on. By the time we had all graduated high school, there was probably about 20 of us that showed up every weekend to this youth center, and we'd just take up this huge room and we'd have terrain everywhere, and it was great. And if we got bored of playing the game, we started throwing dice at each other across the room. Those people that cleaned those rooms probably found 500 dice.
Oh man.
So yeah, of course, Skaven was my first army. Then we found 40k. So what's the first thing you get introduced to when you walk into a Games Workshop and you look at 40k? Space Marines. And what Space Marines are there? Ultramarines. So my very first Space Marine army was the Blue Boys. Of course, by the time I had proposed to my wife and was getting ready to make the journey across the ocean, you're kind of limited on what you can bring. So I sold my entire collection of Warhammer everything.
Oh wow.
At this point, I had Eldar, I had Forge World, I'd been to Games Day several times, and it was like, I'm doing this for love.
That's commitment.
It is.
Your wife, giving up the hours of gluing and painting and all of that time, giving up to go get married.
Yep. It was a lot. I don't think you'll ever hear this podcast, Rob, but if you do, you still owe me the money for those models.
You heard it here first, Rob.
Did you sell your army to Rob?
I did. I sold Skaven, Eldar, Space Marines. There was some Grey Knights. Yeah, I sold. I didn't bring a single model with me when I came across. I sold it all.
So here's the $1 million question. How long did it take for you to start buying again?
So I was married in 2005.
Okay.
And I think, let's see, Logan was probably about 5 years old. So probably in about 2010, I got a catalog from Forge World and I ordered one of the Forge World Tau battle suits. I was like starting from scratch. I didn't have glue, paint, nothing. I started from absolute scratch. And that was when you could mail order direct and send them a paper check and they would cash it. No
Did
online.
you say 2010?
Yeah.
Yeah, they also had credit cards back then and debit cards, just as a heads up.
Yes, but you gotta remember, I was a young boy that didn't have access to credit cards or anything like that.
You're just out in the sticks. That's all.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
I live in the boonies. And
right.
it just kind of it grew from there. I didn't know anybody that played. I just started buying models and painting them up. I started painting a Salamander's army. When Imperial Knights first came out, I bought one of the Imperial Knights. I was so proud of it. I still have it. That's one of the things I haven't sold. And I painted it in red Mechanicus. And Logan was young at that point, and he decided while Daddy was at work, he was going to help paint his model. So my red and gold paint trimmed Imperial Knight got a lovely shade of blue on it.
Oh, the joys of children.
Yep. But you know what? It was easy to fix.
Yeah, it usually is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then since then it's just kind of grown. Now we moved house. I've got a whole gaming room. I'm surrounded by the hobby I love. Desk in front of me and pants off to the side. There's cabinets behind me full of miniatures, gaming table.
So what pulled you back into AOS? Or what pulled you in I guess Warhammer, but what pulled you into AOS?
So I'd been playing 40k for a long time and I was getting kind of tired of the system. My last experience was a year and a half, 2 years ago. I went to a 40k Teams event, which is kind of fitting because we're going to my very first AOS Teams event next weekend. But my team asked me to take Necrons. I was like, okay, I can build a solid Necron list. 18 Wraiths, Technomancers, just bricks. I'm just going to sit on objectives. I will make them score low. No problem. My list got decimated every round. I had Imperial Guardsmen hitting and wounding with rerolls for rerolls, and it was just like there's no aspect to this game which is strategic now. It's just I get to roll this dice. Oh, I get to re-roll it, or I'm hitting on twos, re-rolling in ones. It's just it got to the point where it's like I'm just burnt out. The rules have burned me out on this. It's like I need something fresh. So, gosh, I've got. It's funny. I've got the Stormcast Eternal book. I don't even know which one it is. It's a white bound book. It's sitting on the desk, but I had bought that
Second edition.
years ago because I was really intrigued when AOS first came out, but nobody played it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take another look. And I can't even remember who it was now. Someone mentioned the Slow Grow League going on at GXE. And I was like, I could do that. Like, slow grow, I can get into it. If I don't like it, I ain't put too much into it. And so that's how I got into it. Of course, not
Okay.
long after that, I had to make an emergency trip back to England because my brother got real sick. And while I was there, I made a trip to Warhammer World. I made the pilgrimage. And while I was there, I mean, you walk into that place and it's amazing. If you ever get the chance to go to Warhammer World, go. The the displays are out of this world. And I'm just walking around and I'm like, got this AOS thing in the back of my mind, and I see Seraphon. It's like Lizardmen, I remember them. And I see the Agridon Lances. And I was like, it's dinosaurs riding dinosaurs.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, Warhammer World has it figured out, right? I'm from the States. I'm coming back home. The lady looks at me and goes, you know, we can mail anything you purchased here directly to you. I'm like, you are kidding. She's like, no, you buy whatever you want and we will ship it free of charge to your house. I was like, ma'am, you shouldn't have told me that. So I bought a bunch of Seraphon, and it might have arrived here before I got back home, so I might have to do some explaining. But yeah, that's how I got into AOS,
Well,
and I've loved it.
well, we're glad you're into AOS, and that's really, I think that's really cool with it that you mentioned the Slow Grow League, and like I think that was a Feast Brigade hosted type of scenario for the most part, and I'm kind of
Hmm.
and we, it's cool that we grew the community, man. Like that's just awesome that like you came into the world like that, and like especially with all the experience that you have previously, because I think you and I are kind of on a similar boat. Like when I was a little kid, I think we're roughly around the same age. Like I had a similar experience with discovering this stuff. I just had a father that introduced me to all of it, but like that's really cool, like that we've wound up on this journey together, and now here we are sitting talking about Warhammer, man.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's funny how life works out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you, Shone, and everybody, the world, and rolling in the Ozarks. This is Shone.
All right, everyone. So this last weekend we had Hawghammer. It is a local event here in Arkansas, held at AdventureCon, and we had a GT for Age of Sigmar there. I wasn't there, but Gentry and Shone were there. So let's get in there and see how it went. The very first game for both of them was against one another. So, would y'all tell me how did that game go? What did you bring to play, and how the overall event went?
I will say this: you should never think this about a game. I knew once I got paired up with Shone, I was not going to win. Because the army that I have does not stand up well against armies that just run through you. And so when I saw that, I was just like, okay, well, how do I just prevent the running through me as long as possible? And so I tried, and I think I put up a valiant effort, but for the most part, like he's too fast for me. There was one moment in our game that I'll let Shone talk about it because I want to hear your perspective. The whole Bastion letting me go with Bastion on the after fact. Shone, what did you think about that game?
So yeah, I enjoyed it. I haven't played Stormcast Eternal very much, so all I knew about them was they're very teleporty.
Yeah.
They're very jumpy. I think I've played you one time, and
Yeah, you
I've
did.
played
Yeah, Lumineth was the other time you played me.
yeah, and I played Hubble on TTS one time, and he was literally just moving this guy from one side of the table to the other, and I'm like, what do I do? I can't even. How do I get close to this thing? So you thought, you went into it and you were going to lose, but I went into it thinking, how am I going to stop him from being all over the place? Because, as you said, my army just runs towards you. So once I leave my home objectives, they're wide open.
Yeah.
So my list was basically 2 soggy Carnosaurs, 3 reinforced units of Agrodons, and 2 5-man hunters of Wanchi. One Carnosaur had the Blood Rage Pendant, which gives him an extra attack, and then gives him 2 extra attacks when he's at half wounds. Beastmaster, which gives him and every unit within wholly within 12 inches an extra 2 inches of move, so they become a 12-inch move. And Ancient Defender, which lets the Carnosaurs get +1 to hit on its attacks, so it's hitting on 3s, not 4s. Coincidentally, I have completely forgot about Beastmaster for the first 3 games. So
Oh, oh no!
I was in my end of my third game going, oh yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, it was a really great game. There was a moment, it was a moment where 2 of my Carnosaurs had charged. It was the Prime, and what's the name of that
It
guy?
was Prime and Bastion Cartholos.
That Bastion miniature is awesome. That guy looks like he means business.
Yeah.
That
And
is a
I
sweet
was
model.
actually using Hubble's Bastion Cartholos, so
Oh,
yeah.
it was very nice.
Yeah.
So I went first, and I attacked, and I killed the Prime first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think
And then,
Prime did a whole bunch of Prime did a whole bunch of damage, and then you went.
yeah. But there was the way the positioning was, it was hard for Gentry to see, but when he pulled his model, it allowed my Carnosaur to move in, and then that was it. You went with Prime first. He did a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
No, you went with the Hammer guy. He did a bunch of damage.
Yeah.
I killed, and then I turned around and killed him with the Carnosaur, which allowed me to get my other Carnosaur into contact with the Prime. That's how it went. But you didn't realize that
Yeah.
my base would fit through.
I didn't think it would fit. And I was I was like upset about it. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, I can't say that. And Shone was a gentleman and was like, you know what? Like, and actually, I kind of saw the writing through the wall at this point because it was like turn 2.5 or 3 or something, I think.
yeah,
And he was like, okay, yeah, I'll let you take that back, and he let me use my Bastion. Bastion dies retroactively or whatever. But he was very nice and gentlemanlike and let me kind of take something back, which was a very, very great thing to do in a tournament. So I appreciate you for that.
yeah. So what ended up happening, instead of both Carnosaurs living, Bastion killed a Carnosaur, and then I killed the and it was just an order of operation thing that,
Yeah.
you get into the moment and you're like,
Yeah.
but yeah, people make mistakes. So it's
Yeah,
just like,
and like
no problem.
the first 2 turns of the game, I was killing off some Agrodons pretty well.
Yeah,
But I mean, and like he was like, "Oh my gosh, these guys are disappearing quickly." I'm like, "Yeah, but once they get into combat, they're gonna stay on the board." And so once we got into combat, like they kind of just stayed around, and I was trying to float around the board and everything. Like, just let the audience know, like my army was basically it's the Celestant Prime. It was Bastion Carthos and a Lord Relictor, with the Beacon of Azir, where I can give somebody a ward when somebody dies within 12. Right. My other parts of my army were 2 Liberator units reinforced, a Vanquisher unit, a reinforced Prosecutor unit, and a reinforced Quester Soulsworn. Okay. That's basically, and a Storm Coven unit as well. So that was my army. Very kind of like a decently well-rounded Stormcast Eternal army, not overpowering, just it could just score points. And so that was my design. that army that I have is basically designed to score 50 something to 65 points a game, and that's what it does. And it also tries to keep my opponent to where they stay in that same scoring realm. But what happens when I play somebody such as like with Shone that can like pierce through some weak parts of my army, and about turn 4 or 5, they can get a 15-point turn and go ahead on me, and that's exactly what Shone did in game 1.
And I have to mention, people do not sleep on Hunters of Wanshi.
Nope.
This little 5-man unit of skinks tied up a unit of those flying
Oh my
not
god. Dude, my prosecutors are there, and like they take 2 turns to take down 5 Wanshi people.
Yeah, five little skinks
Yeah.
with 1 wound apiece.
It was
They
brutal.
have,
It was brutal.
and they even killed one in return with their feeble claws.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was our round 1. That was our round 1.
Yeah, and you were right there. You said you'd like to score, between 50 to 65 points, and you scored 55 points.
Yep. That's where I usually am.
Yeah. It was a 70 to 55.
Yep.
And it was a great game.
It was
And
solid.
if I'm gonna take a guess, I'm assuming the Agrodons, when you get stuck in combat, they get meaner because they get rage tokens.
They do.
The longer you're sitting in that tar pit of liberators, means that they're gonna start biting harder.
Yeah.
So
as each round goes, right?
So when Agrodons fight in combat, they get a rage token. They have to continue fighting each fight phase, otherwise they lose rage tokens. The Carnosaur ignores that rule though, so if they're wholly within 12, they just stay angry. So your Agrodon starts with 3 attacks, and then ends up with 6 attacks. And with the asterism of crit 2 hits, they can just start pumping out huge amounts of hits.
Oh yeah, that's a good combo.
which will come up in a later game.
Yeah, so let's do a rundown of your other games. Any highlights you guys want to talk about?
In round 2, I faced Mark. He usually runs those big iron jaws, but this time he was running the Gits with some trolls. And he was relatively new to the army, and it was a solid close game. Mark's a really great player. I was able to just kind of like, mitigate the trolls and just kind of like feed them stuff that's like, hey, I'm going to kind of treat you this way and then go around and score points off you this other way. And that's kind of how I think I pulled out that victory for my round 2. It's just like Gits are not in a good place right now in regards to just like being an overall army. So it's really rough in some places. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I won round 2.
Shone, what's your round 2?
My round 2 was against Brandon and his Night Haunts. And the most epic thing happened in this game. The highlight of my weekend happened in this game. He has a lovely character called Lady O. I think that's her nickname.
Yeah.
Lady Olinder.
Yes, you could only hit her on 5s and wound her on 5s, and if she's next to certain units, she gets a better ward save. Well, the dice gods were not in Brandon's favor this day. My Warlord Carnosaur, turn 1 charged her and killed her outright.
Wow.
The Carnosaur, in fact, didn't even get to attack. The rider killed her.
No.
Yes, it was. The stars aligned in the skink oracles foresaw this thousands of years ago. It's probably written on some temple. The dice just rolled. Yes, on my spaceship temple. And I looked at him and I said, dude, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. And he's like, man, that was crazy. I was like, yeah. He's like, well, maybe I shouldn't have deployed her on the front line.
Oh. Yeah. That's probably not a good choice.
I mean, it was a great game. Brandon is a really great guy.
Absolutely.
he was laughing the whole way through. My Agrodons made contact with his ghosts, and they just ate them.
That dude.
It was a 78-36 game,
Yeah,
so that was
that's pretty decisive.
yeah.
That's
So that
that's
was
what I would kind of expect in that matchup.
Yeah.
yes.
So what's game 3 looking like?
Go ahead.
Well, my game 3, I get pitted against a Disciples of Zinch player, Michael. And he's from Queen City, Sigmar. And I'm staring across this table from this red looking Disciples of Zinch army, being like, okay. I basically straight up tell him, like, I want to basically learn from you because I play Disciple. I want to try to learn how to play Disciples of Zinch anyway. So, like, I'm just going to kind of learn from you. He is probably one of the smartest players I've ever played in this game in the last in the last year or so. He just knows everything he's doing, calculated to the inch. But I was able to, and I think this where Stormcast teams up decently against Disciples. I was actually able to maneuver with him because, like, the part of the strength of his army is maneuverability and placement, and I was able to kind of like keep up in the score with him through the whole game. Right. I knew that it was. I knew that I was kind of down, and I knew that, like, I had to hold out until the very end. And so what happens in turn 1? He charges up with like some Zangor Enlightened, does some heavy damage, and put some spawn down. But what I did was kind of like react to the spawn, and I killed one at first. Then I was like, wait a minute, these things. If I just keep these things on the table, they're not going to tie me up. So if I just like he brings them down, and I just either retreat from them or just kind of like stay away from spawn. Essentially, he's not going to be able to tie me up as much as he wants to. Right. So like I wind up injuring part of his enlightened unit. So where he flees with it and then like does his teleporty stuff and everything. And so for the mid game, I was able to kind of thwart him off just a tad and switch the map to where I was like, well, now your army's over here and my army's over here. Right. So now we got to start over basically again in turn 2B, 3A, somewhere around there, where it's like you came in here, but now I was able to teleport and move my army over here. Right. And that's what my Stormcast army does. It's like I can move the map on you. And I did that to him. And so he recalculated, and I saw him coming back at me. And I was creeping up in points and getting up in points. And finally, in turn 5B, he was like, I have this end all or die all charge on you, so I'm going to go in there. I have this unit of Liberators on an objective in my home territory, and they're full health. And these unit of the Zangor Enlightened have to charge in and kill the entire unit to take over the objective to try to score all these points. And what happens is he killed 19 out of 20 wounds of my Liberators. And I have one Liberator left with one wound who stands. And then I counterfight with all these other things. And I'm able to contest and control the objective at the end of the game, and I win by 1 point in turn 5B.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is, like, first off, Michael's very good.
He's
especially with
so
Zinch.
good. Yes.
And so
I got lucky
good
in
job,
some parts,
Gentry.
yeah.
But that is, you got to play smart, right? Keep the guy on the objective and maybe not kill the fun stuff, but kill the things that are control.
Yeah.
And you got to swing the game somehow, and that's how.
Yeah.
Okay. Shone?
So my game 3 was against Alex Cotter, also from Queen City, Sigmar.
Also really good.
Let me tell you, running.
That's barely saying what about Alex.
Yeah.
Yes, Alex is a very, very good player. I'm not sure exactly what he has accomplished. Is it like Team USA or something like that?
Oh, he's
gone
done
to
a lot.
Worlds. Yeah, he's gotten golden tickets, all that type of stuff. He's excellent.
So he was running the army I do not want to see across the table from me, and that is Lumineth Realm Lords. I have never won a game against LRL. He brought Teclis, 2 units of Wardens, support characters, and some Riverblades. I think they're river blades. Oh, and the light.
Of
And
course.
by the end of the game, I had killed 1 unit of wardens and 1 unit of river blades. When an army can turn around and say, I'm immune to crits, so you turned off my crit 2 hits. You can only hit me on 4s. You can only wound me on 4s. I can bring back 9 models while in combat, or roll for 9 models to come back while in combat. It took 2 reinforced units of Agrodons and the Carnosaur to kill, to the man, 1 unit of Wardens. And then they just shield bash you to death, and you've got nothing left.
Yeah, and Light pops in his ugly head, starts stabbing you, and you're like, "Ouch! How'd you get here?"
Yeah.
I didn't think Alex was going to lose a game that whole tournament. Like that army was it was too brutal.
I played against him at the other Hog event. What was it?
Pit.
Hog Pit, and he ran the same list. So I already knew what was coming when I saw him, and I was like, I'm in danger. Unfortunately, it might have been a little closer, but the mission was Grasp of Thorns. Was that it?
Yeah, I think so.
When you're on an objective, yeah, you can get stuck on the objective.
Yeah.
And my second Carnosaur got stuck on the objective after killing the Rebel Blaze, and he killed everything else that was in combat with him, and then just moseyed on over and shield bashed my Carnosaur to death.
Oh no! Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's real tough.
But Alex, great guy. I enjoy playing him every time because I always learn something. He is my only opponent to have received 2 lizards from me. One thing the audience probably doesn't know this, but one thing I like to do when I go to events is I 3D print little lizards, and I give them as a token to my opponents. It's just a goodwill gesture, Remember our game. So yes, he now has 2, but apparently his wife stole the first one, so the second one is his.
There it is. All right. What about game 4 and 5 here?
Yes. So I played game 4 against Ethan, running Blades of Corn. Now I want you to imagine this. You have my army, which is all about getting in the fight. And then you look across the table and you see Ethan's list, and it is 2 Bloodthirsters, 2 units of Bloodletters that are reinforced, and then some Blood Crusher. No, not Blood Crushers. The mortal versions of the Blood Crushers. What are those? Anyway, the Corn Cavalry, and then some guys that are meant to die to generate Blood Tithe points. We met in the middle, and we smashed each other to death. By the end of the game, I had a wounded Carnosaur and 2 Agridons left. I won that game. It was a great game, though. Ethan's a really great guy. And I want to make a special shout out to his wife. Is it Caitlin?
Yeah.
Caitlin, yeah.
If Caitlin hadn't played in this tournament, I wouldn't have played. Because when we got there was only 9 people. And I told Chris, I said, there's an apocalypse game going on next door, and they're borrowing my Titan. And my Titan has not seen the table in 15 years. So if you want me to take the buys so everyone else can play, I'll go play Apocalypse. And then Caitlin comes and she joins in, and I get put back in the mix, and I'm like, sweet, I get to play.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
You are appreciated.
I would have had to play dirty 40K.
And that's just, that I like having a smaller event when we can just have some people that I think that was her first 2,000 point games.
Yeah.
And that's, thank you for stepping in. It's much appreciated to be able to have everyone to have fun. And then also to be able to say, hey, hopefully we can get you in more games in the future. So,
Absolutely.
And it's Mighty Skull Crushers and then Blood Crushers. Mighty Skull Crushers are the mortals for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a unit of Agrodons versus them, and they were literally just hitting each other, and neither one of us could kill each other. Because he's got a 2-up save, and each of my Agrodons has 5 wounds. So
Yeah.
There you go.
it was just we were just sitting there for the whole game, basically fighting each other.
Oh, awesome. Gentry?
Man, my round 4. So it starts off with me in the morning, sending a message on our Discord channel that says, "Hey, is this a 9:00 start time?" And fortunately, they said yes. So I get there like right at 8:59, I think. And so I pull in with my stuff, and my opponent is fellow Feast Brigade, another Feast Brigade person that I played this weekend, Tom Matushka. And I said that last name correctly, didn't I?
Sure, Father Tom.
Okay, Father Tom. And I asked him how to pronounce it, so hopefully I did that correctly. Tom, fellow Feast Brigade person, playing some Daughters of Cain. And my previous experience with Daughters of Cain was nightmarish and just a complete nightmare for me. So I'm just like, I'm sitting there going like, okay, how do I'm just going to redeal with this. What's the big snake lady model that goes around killing everything?
Morathi.
Gosh, I just like, she just is my utter nightmare on the table. I just can't deal with her very well. So, but I will say this. This was probably, besides the Disciples of Zinch game that had in round 3, this was a battle that was just super hard for me to actually react to and play. So anyway, turn 1, Tom sends his snake ladies like right up on me, wipes out a unit of liberators, scores some good points and everything. And then he knew he was kind of setting up for a counter charge. And so I have about 4, maybe 5 units that are there that can go destroy this unit. The only thing that makes the charge is the Celestant Prime. And I had questers. I had 3 other things that could have gone in there and charged. The only thing that makes the charge is the Prime. Now I had like piecemealed shooting them. I've kind of like picked them off here piece by piece with some shooting and stuff. So they weren't a full 10 by the time Prime charged in. They were maybe like 8 or so around there. So Prime charges in, and I'm like, well, let's see if we can do some damage here. And Prime all weekend had been okay. He had hit there, stuck around for a few turns or whatever. But this time he does what you want Prime to do. He wound up doing 24 damage on a full swing.
Oh,
and wiped out a snake unit. And Tom and I were like, okay, well that happened. And we were like, yeah, okay, crazy. And so, but what happened is like I had to distract Morathi, and I had to make sure like I got to keep you engaged in combat. I got to like just make sure that you're not free to roam around the board and do whatever. So like I was spending the whole game trying to distract her, trying to, go to different units, sections of the board. The best part about the game that I had with Tom though is, and he will say this too, and we'll talk about this later. I was able to get my Quester Soulsworn unit onto their objective in his territory. And like, if you know anything about Quester Soulsworn, once they get onto their objective, they got a 5+ ward save. It's a 3+5+, and then they also have a +3 control. And so I was able to get them onto their unit, onto their objective. And I think it was 3 turns that unit stood there and just withstood the ultimate just attack swarm that Daughters of Cain can give to you. Literally, I think I had 1 Quester Soulsworn left with like 1 or 2 wounds for about 2 turns. And Tom can attest to this. And he just stood there and stood his ground the entire time and would not die. And so I just outlasted the Daughters of Cain and was able to continually get my objective points, score some BTs here and there, and just like outlasted it, And so it was a great game. It was till 5B because he had a chance to get back in there, but again, things didn't go his way. And so that was 2 games in a row for me at the Hawghammer that I had to be on 5B and just, get lucky, so to speak. So I won that one as well. It was pretty cool.
Those are my favorite games, and it's 3 health. That not 3 control, 3 health, which is super tanky for the Quester Soulsworn. And they can teleport on their own.
Yeah.
They kind of became a staple unit for a lot of Stormcast players.
I'm seeing a lot of Stormcast players also take 2 of those units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can just teleport, and then you don't need to be near the porta potty and or the Storm Reach portal.
Yeah.
Got too many nicknames. But yeah.
Okay. It does look
Okay.
like a porta potty.
It is. It's a little bit of a porta potty.
It
That's where Sigmar's, at 8 o'clock in the morning.
What happens in the porta potty stays in the porta potty.
Probably for the best.
He's got Reader's Digest in there. Okay, last game here.
All right, last game. I get to face Alex Cotter. So, yay! I see this wall of wardens in front of me, and I'm like, what do I do? And honestly, Alex was a great opponent. I knew going in, like, he's been a #1 GPM guy in our region, and like he's been to Worlds and everything. I'm like, dude, I know I got my match cut out for me. Honestly, like in my head, it's like, do I really deserve to be here at this table with this guy right now in round 5? Because like there was about 4 of us, I think, there that were 3-1 going into the final table, and so
yes,
and so we all had position to win it. We were all there. So I kind of had a little nerve thing going on. And so I played very conservatively. And I think that was my main issue, is where I was like, instead of just running up and just trying to punch through his wall and trying to just like make sure like I'm going to take you down with everything that I possibly can, I was like, no, I'm going to play like I have in the whole tournament. I'm going to score my points and like do this, and that. And it worked for about 3 turns until he was able to push his wall against me, because my goal was to try to divide his wall, where I was like, hey, I want one warden unit to go this way. I want the other warden unit to go this way. If I can divide you, it's going to be great. But I think waiting until turn 3 to do that didn't work. And like one major flaw that I had in the game is in turn 4 or so, I was going to go score some BTs, and I had 5 units that were going to make a charge. And I also had a reroll with that. I make 1 out of those 5 charges.
Oh,
And it just falls through. I don't think that would have won me the game or not. I really don't think so. It would have put me closer than what it was at the end, because he got like 75 to my like 50, maybe 48, 9, 50 something. I don't know. But like it was just I couldn't stop anything. Also, he failed 1 spell the whole game.
Well, and this might be a little burn to Shone here. LRL is the true Magic faction compared to his Lizard Wizards.
you just wait.
Yeah,
book's coming out.
Yeah, Croak is gonna come out. He's gonna start Magic Missile over and over and over again.
If Croak is not at least a 5-cast wizard when he comes out, I'm gonna be very upset.
Yeah. So it was like the Teclis and his buddy Wizard were definitely on game in game 5, and then but I wanted to stay away from the shield bash. That was my goal. And like we talked about the game afterwards, and Alex was like, I think you should have been more aggressive. I was like, you're right, but like what happens if I'm more aggressive? I go into your shield bash and all my dudes die. So what? I lose in turn 2 as opposed to losing in turn 4.
That's what I did.
Yeah. So yeah. So like his army is just it's in a good spot. It's
a very good spot.
It's hard to beat. Yeah.
And in LRL, it just feels worse the more the game happens, because they get the runes off, then they get the secondary effects, and a good alpha strike does feel best into LRL, but also you just have to have raw damage compared to and crits and tricks.
And Alex knows how to run that castle, and like he would make this arc, and it looked like a freaking picture out of the book, where he just has this arc of wardens with Teclis and everything behind it, and he put his river blades off in a corner surrounded by like one of their little spells they can do to like protect them, and he just parked them on the objective and was like, you can't get here. And I'm like, cool. And I can't say this on the podcast just because of language, but he had a special little objective token that labeled the objective, which was hilarious, by the way. So Alex, if you're listening to this, I appreciate you putting our super special token on that objective to make us have a good time on that one.
All right, Shone, last game here.
So my last game was against Michael, which was Gentry's round 3 opponent. from Queen City Sigmar. And let me tell you, I might have lost to LRL, but I have never felt more bodied by an army than these disciples of Tizinch. Cox, you are doing it wrong.
Oh, shout out.
Okay.
No.
Dang.
All right.
Dang. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, Michael was a great guy. He like you said, Gentry. He knows his army. He's calculated. He knows exactly what he needs to do, when he needs to do it, how he needs to do it. I mean, I literally turn one charged him. Turn one charged him with a Carnosaur and 2 units of Agrodons right in his face. And it didn't phase him one bit. By the end of the game, I had 2 units of Hunters of Hawanchi, and I'm like,
What happened?
Hero Fizz. Hero Fizz. I'm good. You? Yes, I'm going to cast a spell. Okay. Moving Fizz. I'm not moving. Shooting Fizz. Nothing's in range. I'm not charging. Literally, for the last 2 rounds of my game, I just sat on objectives to score 8 points. Because that's all I could do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted to kill Kairos so bad, but he screened Kairos out. There was no way I could get to him. I thought, I'm going to power through. But you can't end in combat with something you didn't or weren't already in combat with.
Yep.
I was like, if I could have powered through into those, I would have tied his entire army up turn 1. But I couldn't. And I was like, no. And then he hit me with the Zangors on discs. Those things hurt. Cox does use a unit of those. I will attest. I have been on the receiving end of them several times. But
Three damage on the charge is brutal.
Yeah, and discs are no joke too. He's like D3 damage, 12 damage. Oh my gosh! It's like
nice.
when he needed to roll 3s. I mean, just as planned, I guess. But yeah, so I lost that. That was my second loss of the event, and it was a 78-51.
Yeah, and I look at Michael and I look at Alex, and they actually played each other in round 4, I believe.
Yes, and Michael won.
And Michael won that game. He won with Zinch over Lumineth, and actually quite mightily. It was a good score. But I think they play each other a lot, right? So like, they know who does what each other does. But they actually play those 2 armies very similar, with the exception of that Michael like goes in with those enlightened on the discs for a quick charge, right? But like when you looked at like the Kairos Fate Weaver and you looked at Teclis, like they both use those as that centerpiece with the big wall around them to do all their magic biddings and objective scorings and all that, right? So this harkens me back to one of our episodes we did previously with we talked about centerpieces for a while, and I will say this: like Teclis and Kairos Fate Weaver are ultimate great centerpieces for armies right now. Those 2 guys are just really difficult to deal with, and if you can shield them and block them off and then utilize their stuff for 4 turns, like you're gonna win most of your matches.
And you know what the good thing about their centerpieces are? They can't just randomly die.
Yeah.
Lord Croak takes a couple of points of chip damage and he can suddenly just explode and not be there anymore. I've had that happen, and at that point, I like reach across the table, shake my opponent's hand, and say, "Good game, sir." We will continue to play this out, but you have won.
Yeah.
Oh man! But then you can heal. That's the fun part.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so the tournament ends with Alex winning first, Michael winning second, Shone gets third.
And I did not know I had third because my Apocalypse friends were ready to go on the road and then left. We left before the event finished.
Okay, yeah, yeah, you disappeared, and we're like, "Where'd Shone go?" Yeah, yeah. And so Shone gets third, and then Tom Matushka actually tops me in fourth because of points, because he wins his 5th round, and so I'm below him in points in 5th, right? And then so after that, like those are basically all the players that went like 3 and 2 or 4 and 1, so to speak. And then people behind us finished out there, which But again, I think like we had a couple newer players there. We had a guy playing Skaven there, and I think he's been playing for about a year. I don't remember I never got to play him, so I can't remember the person's name. But he was a trooper, stayed in there all tournament long, which is cool. But again, shout out to Caitlin. Thank you for feeling like anybody that ever has filled out a tournament. You don't know how valuable you are. That's the best thing you can ever do. We appreciate it.
Yes, it was. She was great.
All right, so we're going to pivot a little bit here. We're going to be talking about Seraphon. And because we have our favorite lizard wizard with us, Mr. Shone, and really we kind of are hitting this spot where we know the book is coming out. We know that the Seraphon lore is fun. They are from outer space. They're magical. They have their little spaceship temples. But from a gameplay standpoint, Shone, what would you want in the Seraphon war scrolls or battle traits or anything like that in the next battle tome that's coming out?
Yeah, so the lizards from space. Who doesn't love Azir infused lizards? As far as the new book goes, I would like to see them become. They don't have to be more magical, but it's kind of like the Seraphon shtick. They're literally from Azir, and their magic casting right now seems very meh. Croak is a 3 cast that could, I mean, he's got a very powerful unlimited spell, which does D3 mortal wounds to the good D3 to units within 18 inches, and he can cast that multiple times. But your Slan, he's hurting. He got a little boost when he could bring back a unit for a CP, but his magical prowess is pretty lacking. I'd like to see a boost to their magic. Like, give me some good damaging spells. The earth trembles is as dangerous to you as it is to your opponent because it's a laser beam, and your slan's always behind your units. So
Yeah.
you don't ever use that.
So you want offensive magical spells to be in there more than anything else, right? Is just get that
Yeah.
magic bumped up. Now, are you looking at Seraphon if you had to give something up to get those offensive spells? What do you think that you're like, hey, we have this thing, but it's not necessarily our identity? Or do you just feel like you're undertuned a little bit as an army and you're just like, hey, we just need more to be really viable?
So if I had to give something up to get better magic, and I'm probably going to catch a little flack for this because it was a certain meme list a little while ago, and then GW went, no on the auxiliaries now. But I'm sorry, Mr. Spawn of Chotek. I mean, I'm looking at you. You're on my table. You're a beautiful model, but gameplay-wise, you're very lackluster.
Yeah. Okay. So are you just thinking like more of your auxiliary stuff becomes a little more auxiliary than having than having some really good abilities?
Yeah,
Because
the
the Spawn
units.
Chotek did chip damage, right?
Yeah, so he can reduce your armor save. He has a single attack that he basically spits a fireball at you, or he can reduce your armor save. And it's very short range, so he's probably going to get 1 or 2 shots off before he gets charged and killed. He's just
16 inches for the Spawn Chotek. The glob of flame acid
yeah.
there. That's not short range. You're coming for 40k where that's short range.
That is, sir. It's 16 inches. A unit of elves moves what, 6 inches? So that's a 10-inch charge. That's a 10-inch charge. I've saw crazier things happen. But yeah, you look at the new books like the LRL, the new Slanesh book that's just been previewed. and those are really strong. So I'm kind of hoping we continue the trend and the Seraphon gets a nice glow up, make my slan more important than just being there to bring 200 and some odd points just to bring back half a unit every turn.
Yeah.
With a little bit of magical support. I mean, he flies, so cannons like him.
What are your
Double.
what are your thoughts on like infantry armies? Like, would you be interested in any infantry armies?
Oh, so I would, yes. Source Warriors are great. I love Source Warriors, and they they need something. Their ability is when they stand on an objective, they get a +1 to their save. That's great, unless you're running a block of 20. Can you get 20 Saurus Warriors on 32 mil bases? Everyone fully on the objective. It just doesn't work. Give them something like anti-charge or something like that, because that's what they were designed for, is just holding the line, pushing back. I don't know if you've ever seen like movies of Roman armies where they're just moving forward in cohorts and they're just like bang, stab, bang. That's how I envision the Seraphon just marching, literally doing the bidding of their slans.
One of the pieces is, I know the giant dino. Is it I can't quite recall. I'm trying to Google it right now. I think it was called Thunder Lizard. I didn't play in second edition. Came in third, where it's just a bunch of the big dinos was a meta for quite a while. Of just that's what I've heard. I might be wrong, where it's just like, hey, I have my Carnos, I have the Stegodons, the Bastildons. I don't know all the terms off the top of my head, but it's just you can just put these big bases down and just rock the world. But you never know. Maybe this new edition, if we have these Fury tokens and stuff, where you can do an additional attack, suddenly these big guys are going to be looking a lot better. I do agree that we probably just need that glow up. I just don't know how. Do you want them to be a ramp up army like LRL where they get stronger throughout the game, or do you just want them to be a flatline stronger army or tar pit kind of more higher saves, not really war. It's not really your thing. So yeah, what would you do
Um,
in that?
so Seraphon are kind of unique because you can go either direction. You can go complete aggro like I just did at the last event, where you just take Agrodons and Carnosaurs. Or you can go super infantry heavy, and you take your Astrolith Bearers to give you ward saves, and you take your Sunblood packs to mitigate a point of damage each turn. So you have your blocks of Saurus Warriors supported by blocks of Croxagore, and you can just, literally just walk up the table holding objectives and be like, okay, come and get me. Saurus are no slouch in combat. Get 2 attacks apiece, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, 1 damage, rend 1. You can bump that up to rend 2 with a spell, but they're very susceptible to mortal wounds because they have very little defense against that. They have very few accesses to things like strike first. They're just missing utilities. There's not a lot of utility in the support utility, basically. Like you look at Lumineth and they go, you can only hit me on 4s, you can only wound me on 4s. Tzinch can go, you're -1 to wound me and I'm +1 to wound you. They're the most honest hammer you can play because literally what you roll is what you roll.
It's just it's a very flat army in
Yes.
comparison. Yeah.
And if I can memorize it, then it's
I
um,
think everyone wants to be a Dino player. Everyone wants to be a Dino player.
you know it. I
Yeah.
welcome you all to the spawning pools.
They just look so cool, man. Like honestly, looking through like the big monster units they have, like the Bastillodons and the Engine of the Gods and the Stegodon. It's just
Yep.
like, dude, like I remember playing against like Lizard Men back in the day, and like that, a lot of people just took that stuff where it's like, hey, here's these big dinosaurs, good luck, And so, I think I wish they would give them like they have some of those 2+ saves, but honestly, I think if you just made like a super tanky army, if you gave them a little bit of a ward on there, like either a 6 or a 5, and maybe reduce the 2 to a 3 or something like that, it'd be better for them in the long run for the big things. I think the Saurius Warriors are in a pretty decent place. I think you're right. You need to give them some little thing besides just the objective thing because their bases are that 32. So they need something different. Like I've always been a huge fan of Croxagore. Croxagores always scare me.
Yes.
Just because like when you see that 3 damage from that 1 attack and 2 damage, and it's like big units of 6 health guys with a 4+ save that can move up and just be a big, threat for a hammer are pretty scary. I don't know. And also I think the Seraphon have one of the best looking armies in the game. If you get somebody such as Jonathan Shone, who can paint up a Seraphon army, who, by the way, everybody won best painted army for his Seraphon army. If we haven't said that yet, Seraphon look tight because every time you go to the tournament and somebody's painted up some awesome Seraphon, you just look at that and go, whoa. Because like even McBride said, like back on a couple episodes ago, when he's getting into Warhammer, he's like, whoa, what are the dinosaur looking guys? They look cool. Like they're one of the best looking armies in GW period.
Might be a little biased, but I tend to agree.
And he does have a phenomenal looking army. He's been painting it all up over this last year. When we did our slow grow, he won best painted there because he does such a good job. His croak looks amazing. I am jealous every single time that I see you paint. I'm like, you're just doing it so fast. How are you doing this so fast?
Hey, Hubble, you want to hear something funny? When we were there at the tournament, I had my Stormcast, and I borrowed 2 armies from Hubble, by the way. I took his Bastion, I took his Vanquishers. The one comment I got on the painted for my army there that weekend was some random guy came over and was like, dude, your Vanquishers look so awesome. And I didn't know who he was, so I just said, thank you.
Stolen valor. No.
So, hey, I used Hubble's Vanquishers for that person out there that might somehow listen to this.
I did that at my in-laws over Christmas. I went and just was like, I want my Stormcast to be matched up. So I airbrushed them white gold, everything white gold. And then we were there and we were just watching TV and I was just like dry brushing up. And I then again, I just don't care. But if I bet they're like, what's up with our son-in-law? He's just over there painting up 50 guys at once.
You don't understand. This is life. Warhammer is life.
Actually, they did buy me a Warhammer also. That's like true love right there. Buying some plastic
they
crack
understand you. You're part of the family, Hubble.
Yeah.
So me and my wife have a deal, speaking of buying plastic, and that is once I have painted every model I own, I am permitted to purchase a Warlord Titan.
Ooh.
So who's gonna win that bet?
Well, I literally have 100 ogres to paint right now, so it's not me.
So then that's why you're trying to get rid of some of your Stormcast, right?
So no, honestly, I have so much stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what? I'm never going to get around to this. I would rather somebody who is going to get some use out of it to enjoy it.
So this is the part of the conversation, Shone, where you say, hi, my name is Shone, and I'm a Warhammer-aholic.
I truly am. I mean, and it's not just Warhammer. I literally have 100 BattleTech miniatures to paint.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know you were in BattleTech.
Oh, yeah. I play BattleTech. There's just random models that are like, well, that's cool. You know how hard it is for me not to get into Gundam?
I would imagine. Yeah.
Every time I'm at the store, I'm like, oh, they're so beautiful. No, I will not.
Don't do it, man.
I want to see you buy one of the ones that's like 3 feet tall.
Oh, and see, I love big models. I love big models.
And you cannot lie.
No, I cannot lie.
I think that about does it for our conversation tonight, and we appreciate Shone being our special guest. Shone, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. If I could do a quick plug here, I know
Absolutely.
Hubble likes to do plugs. If you want to see my miniatures, you can go check them out on Instagram. It is grumpy_owl_painting, and you can go see all of my most current stuff that I've been working on right there. And I have been known to do a few commissions, so if you're interested, you just shoot me a message.
And now, Shillings with Hubble.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you, Shone, for talking Seraphon and just your journey through Warhammer. We love being able to share our stories, and especially we can hear it and then bring in new people and, go through those steps. So, we have our stream next week. That's going to be June 24th. We're going to try to start it around 6 p.m. Central Time. And in addition to that, we've been hearing feedback. We know that we're going to try to get a felt on the dice tray so it doesn't have a glare. We're working on trying. There's a few other feedback things we want to hear. We want to be better. Please keep leaving comments or shoot us messages directly. We want to get better. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, we stream on Twitch because that's the easiest one. And I think we're going to get in the yellow pages next. So, we're just trying to hit every single generation. That is a stolen joke from Gentry. So, but thank you so much. Please leave a like and a comment, and we'll catch you rolling in the Ozarks next time. Bye, y'all.